Okay, so there's some things I really need to say. Um, I've been working in a school in the education system for about 2.5 years now, and I'm really sick and tired of seeing what goes on in this system, how students are treated, how people are treated, and the absolute control and deception and manipulation that is the education system. I'm sick and tired of seeing, these slaves that we call students not reach their full potential at all, not even close, because actual living, expressing, learning, development, all these things is replaced with an idea of what is education apparently, what is learning apparently, what is studying apparently. It's a joke. It's a total mockery. This idea that remembering and copying knowledge and information means that you've learned something apparently, and doing it according to someone else's standards and someone else's guidelines and deadlines is, that's learning, that's education. It's not at all. It's conformity. It's control. It's total abuse. What prompted me just now to make this video is, I was just thinking about an experience I had today where a student came to me, and she was really apologetic because I'd given her class some work and she didn't finish it today. I asked them to try to finish it for today, and she didn't give it to me, or she hadn't finished it, and she's really apologetic, even though for me, I thought it was sort of obvious that I don't care. Generally, as a person, is how the kind of teacher I am. I thought it was kind of obvious that I don't really care about that kind of thing. But she was persistently apologetic, and finally she said to me, "I'm scared that you'll be mad at me." And it's like, what can I say to what do you say to that? And I just said, I'm not like that, and this just obviously begs the question of, who is this work for? Who is she really studying for? Because from my perspective, I give the students the work because, it's for them. It's for them to study and enjoy and, take something away from it if they're able to. And I'll assist and support with that as much as I'm able to. But, it's not, like, obviously the education should be for the student. It's not for me. It's not for the teacher. What is the purpose of having to meet some artificially created deadline, or having to submit the work to me as though I'm some authority that will judge whether the work is good or bad? It's ridiculous. So clearly the students, they're not studying for themselves. And just recently I started saying this whole idea of being a teacher and being the authority. It's completely false. It's completely fake. There's no such thing as a teacher. Teaching is not an identity that you can just hide behind by taking this position of being an authority, and then just whatever you do beyond that point it's like you have carte blanche to just do whatever you want, treat people however you want, abuse however you want, because you're a teacher and you know best apparently. Because that's how I see so many teachers treating that position. That's what I see them doing with this position of power and control that they're given. But that's not teaching. Teaching is a living expression, I mean, it's so natural, I mean, there's that whole other side to it too, where education becomes so, because I'm starting to study it a little bit now too formally, and it becomes so technical and like cerebral, and there's all these different methodologies and steps and things you're supposed to know, and it's all just very, very mental, very cerebral, and that's just not teaching at all. It's not effective at all. It's robotic. It's taking you away from the actual situation that's here, that requires attention, that has to be addressed. I mean, teaching can be as simple as it's just relaying an understanding, just like I'm doing now. I mean, if you show somebody how to make a taco, I mean, seriously, if you show somebody how to do anything, really, you're a teacher, like you've taught. So I mean, and then the same thing goes for being a student. Being a student isn't this formatted, very limited idea, like as an identity of like, now I'm a student and I must behave like this and do this and do this. That's not what studying is. It's the same thing applies. Studying is something that you do all the time in your life, constantly and continuously, that just comes up in the moment. So I'm going to continue to expose these points, and every aspect of this current education system for what it is, the system and the rules, um, the authorities, the agents, policemen that we call teachers. This has to be addressed. This has to be stopped. I was one of these kids. I mean, we all were, but it's like along the way we forget what we went through. Because I mean, this stuff starts from such a young age that we really tend to see it. By the time we get older, it's just been so accepted as normal, but it's obviously really not cool and has to be looked at and corrected. So that's all I have to say for now. Thanks.